Today we are going to be looking at the NQ, the Nasdaq futures. And as you guys know, I like to start off on the daily time frame, right? So this is the daily time frame, and one of the first things that you know comes to my attention is this big long wick on the daily time frame. And another thing I want you guys to notice is that I mark out my daily high and my daily low because yesterday we had a break out of yesterday's high or this candle right here. So yesterday's price action broke out of the previous day or the day before it, day high and day low. So ICT teaches that when that happened, you can expect a big move to be coming in the near future. It's not like the next day all the time, but obviously you guys know we have NFP week coming up next week, and we have some news events that's also happening as well. For this today, we got news at 8:30, literally 1 minute from now. So I'm going to actually jump into the 1 minute chart so we can see this news and see if this news even have any effect on the market today. We also have news at 10 a.m. We got some orange folder news, and then we have some more red folder news at 2 p.m. and then 2:30 p.m., right? So we got 1 minute before this candle opens at 8:30. Price is tapping into this first presented fair value gap, but it's looking like it wants to continue to go higher. So far the 8:30 news really is not really seeming significant right now. So I'm going to go back to my analysis real fast on the market, you guys. So as I was saying, the first thing I like to look at is the wicks, and well, not the wicks. The first thing I like to look at is the daily time frame. And on the daily time frame, I see this big long wick right here. So I measured that out, and I will be looking for the 50% level of this wick right here. And then I'm going to also be watching this wick as well. It's not as long, but it's long enough for us to pay attention to it because, price haven't really broke out of a daily high or a daily low just yet, right? So I'm going to do that like that, measure that out, and then from here, I'm going to just continue to drop down, look into the 4-hour time frame, see what we can see right here on the 4-hour. There's really not much to see on the 4-hour. I mean, we do have these two order blocks right here. Price could want to come down, sweep this liquidity, tap into these two order blocks right here on a 4-hour time frame. We do have this gap right here. Price have already came and entered this gap. So these two order blocks is what I'm going to be looking out for on a 4-hour time frame. And these pink lines right here, this is some liquidity that I have marked out from the previous day. I'm going to go ahead and extend this box right here, and then we can call this a 4-hour order block. Let's make it green. All right, and then I'm going to lock this up. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. We got this wick right here. I do want to put a line on the midpoint of this wick just so I could take this Fibonacci off of my chart. Put a yellow line right there. And we can lock that up. Now we can move this Fibonacci off. Don't want to have too much on my chart. On the 4 hour, you guys can see we have some liquidity that may even be swept soon. I don't know. It definitely looks like the market wants to continue to come down. You know, if I had to pick a direction on a day, I would say the market is definitely going to sweep the daily or yesterday's previous low first. And the reason why I think that is because if you look at the hourly time frame, right? If you look at the hourly time frame, this little area right here, this gap has never been traded into. So if price can't get into this gap right here, that can be a sign of really bearish, you know, momentum. All right, so that's what I'm looking at on the hourly. Then we have this inversion as well. So even if price do go up into this, which, because as you guys can see, this yellow line is the midpoint of that wick on the daily, I don't really think the price is going to want to go too much further. I don't think it's going to break out of today's high, right? That's just my guess. That's just my guess for today, right? We're still in a new week opening gap. And as you guys can see, on the hourly, price is respecting this new week opening gap. Even on the 4 hour, price is respecting this new week opening gap. We haven't had a body close outside of this new week opening gap going to the downside just yet. So until that happened, you know, I'm not bearish at all, but I do think we could get a retracement into this 4 hour order block right here, sweeping out some of this liquidity down here on the 4 hour time frame. So I do think we may see that today. Like I said, the 1 hour, then I'm going to drop down into the 15-minute. I like to find a lot of my liquidity on the 15-minute or like the 1 hour time frames. So what I like to do is clone this little line. I see some liquidity right here. I'm going to mark that out. Then we got liquidity right here. All right. And then we have this daily low, but I'm not, that's already marked out, so I don't have to put that on there. And then looking up, I have a bunch of liquidity in here from yesterday, but on a 15-minute time frame, this is the most significant liquidity right here. This little swing high right there. And then I'm going to change one of these lines to let me know the midpoint of that wick is at, because I don't want to have too much on my chart, you guys. I already have a lot, as you guys can see. Don't want to have too much on here when the market opens, right? So essentially, that's what I'm going to be looking for. The news came out. Whenever we have 8:30 news, I always go in here and see if there was a gap created by the news. We do have a little bit of a gap right here. I don't know what that was caused by, but there's no gap for the 8:30 news, so there's nothing to really mark out right there. And then so from here, the only thing I'm going to be doing is waiting, you know, until the market breaks out of the daily low or the daily high, or at least go up to touch that daily wick. There's nothing really to do, at least for me. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. If you guys have any questions, any charts y'all want me to look at, make sure y'all drop a comment down. I'm willing to do a breakdown on anything you guys want me to do a breakdown on. But as of now, I'm just going to be watching this market until market open. I'm currently inside of my semi truck. I'm getting loaded. I'm in Florida. I'm picking up a load of flour. So Hopefully, if they load me fast enough, I'll probably have to end the stream, unfortunately. I wanted to be here and trade live with you guys today. You know, being live is something that I really want to do, but I never have the time for it. So so that's that, you know. Look at the 5 minute. You know, we pretty much have relative equal highs up here. Mark that out. So look like price is kind of like respecting this inversion right here. If we was to, I'm not going to leave it on my chart, but I just want to box it up so y'all can see price is respecting this inversion gap right here. Just keeps touching it. So, you know, price looks bearish, but at the same time, it's kind of look like it's in consolidation too, because, I mean, just look at all of this consolidation. It's just been in this little range right here ever since, you know, yesterday around 11 a.m. So not really nothing to get excited about. What's good, Gore? Good to see you in the chat, my brother. Hey, if I knew how to make you a admin or something like that, I would do it, but I don't even know how to do it, bro. But it's good to see you in the chat, man. Is there anything you've been investing into, Gore? Any charts you want me to look at? Crypto or stocks or anything like that? But yeah, so this is all I'm going to be looking at till market open, you guys. We got this first presented fair value gap. I don't know what day. Normally I put the days on there, but I really haven't been putting the days on there recently because honestly it don't really matter that much. Essentially, my whole strategy is just daily bias and liquidity, to be honest with you guys. And then I use the first presented fair value gap as confirmation when the market opens. That pretty much helps me figure out where the market is going. So like if I show you guys yesterday's price action, right? I made a video on this as well. If you guys want to go check that video out, it's the video I just posted last night, but I'll show you guys how I use the first presented fair value gap. All right. Yesterday I did suffer a loss in my Apex account, but in my real account I actually ended up making like $230. So like right here, you see we had a first presented fair value gap yesterday when the market opened. Look at the time down here, right? You will see that it's 9:30. The market opened. This is not a first presented fair value gap. Most of you already know that, ICT students. So this right here would have been our first presented fair value gap. Then you guys can see right here, right? We had already swept the daily high. The market came down, bounced off of this a little bit, gave you a nice little scalp going up. Then it came down right here, broke below, retest, gave you a nice sell going down, right? So that's essentially how I use the first presented fair value gap. You know, I find my liquidity. Like yesterday, I had more liquidity coming to the downside. It's not on my chart now, but if you guys want to go check that video out, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. I had more liquidity coming to the downside. I did get faked out because, you know, honestly, I was busy. I don't want to say what I was doing, but I was trying to do too many things at one time, so I got faked. I was taking sales. My overall price was right here at 630. I had a decent price, but I was selling like up here, like right in here before, you know, I should have waited for a confirmation essentially, right? So that's pretty much what I use the first presented fair value gap for, is the confirmation. Because like yesterday when I was selling too soon, if I would have just waited for it to come back and break below this first presented fair value gap, my stop loss would have been up here. I would have got in around here. It would have been an easy trade, right? If you look at this trade, right here, you know, my target, and this is all legitimate, right? I'm not making this up. My target was actually the low 500s, right? So maybe like 550 was a good target for like to not get chopped up, you know. But like, let's just say you would have went for a 530. All right, let's just say 530. All right, let's see. The risk to reward on this trade would have been 3.49 to 1, right? So that's how I essentially use the first presented fair value gap. And that's why I'm here live with you guys today, because I want to do all of this live. Like I said, I'm going to try to do it live, man. It sucks always being busy, you know. It really do sucks always being busy because I can't never do what I want to do. But not trying to make excuses. I'm trying to just get better. He said, right now I am XRP and ARB for crypto. For stocks, I made some good money in NBIS. Okay, let's see. Let's go check out some of these charts while we wait for this Nasdaq market to open. Let's go check out some of these charts. I already know XRP, man. Let me see. I should already have a chart on here for XRP. Here it is right here. So essentially, when I'm looking at crypto, I just like to be in the higher time frames because crypto is still so new. Crypto is still so new. I don't really like to drop down into the lower time frames, and it's just much easier, at least for me, to trade. Even when I'm trading crypto, I feel like I just kill it when I'm in a higher time frame. So I'm going to start off on the daily time frame with XRP. All right, let's start off on the daily time frame. We are looking for a little bit of a pullback. I've been looking for a lower XRP for a long time. If we go to the weekly, right? And I'm glad you mentioned crypto, Gore, because like a lot of people are getting so geeked up right now with crypto, and I do feel like a fake out is coming real soon. So right in here, let me take this off of my chart. Right in here, we got this big gap that the market has already respected. You can see that we had the midpoint right here respected, so that's really good. We got a breakaway gap right here. As long as this gap down here stay open, that's going to be really good for the market as well. And then right here, the ultimate test that's going to happen sometime in the near future. If we move our fib, right, we just essentially moved our fib from this swing low to this swing high. Right now, the next important gap that we're going to be looking at for XRP is this gap right here. And Gore, if you don't know where the fair value gap is, Gore, make sure you go check out the Inner Circle Trader, his channel. Everything that I've learned pretty much came from his channel. I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to hide that or anything like that. That's my guy, man. He really helped me get to where I'm at right now with trading, right? So, mind you, this is the weekly chart for XRP. So this gap right here is the next thing we're going to be looking at. So, I want to see how price is going to behave in here, because crypto, that will be kind of whack. It would be nice to see it come down here, hold up a little bit, and then keep going up higher, right? And then if we use our Fibonacci from the swing low to swing high, we can get a projected range of where the market could go if that was to happen. So we could, if we get a bull run on the market, we could be seeing $4.50 on a per XRP, And if it gets really bullish, we can see maybe 550 or 650, right? So that's essentially all I do when I mark up these charts for crypto. And then you said what else? ARB. I don't even know if I got ARB on my watch list yet. I don't even know what ARB is, but we can definitely find it real fast. We can definitely find ARB. Is anybody else investing into ARB? Because I don't even know what this is. Oh, Arbitrum. Oh, never mind. I know what Arbitrum is. I know what that's on me. I know I don't have any Arbitrum in my portfolio, but definitely watching Arbitrum. You know, this is a lot of upside if Arbitrum could turn around. I don't really know the use case for Arbitrum, but how I would look at this chart, the first thing I would do, you know, this chart got a little bit, it's not as clean as XRP right off the rip. You can see that. No matter how long you've been trading, you should be able to see that. So this little gap right here, this is the weekly time frame. Arbitrum got some work to do. It got to at least break out of this gap. You see it already touched it one time, and it's already starting to sell off. So that's not the best of the best. Me personally, I like to see, you know, market structure shift, you know, a market structure shift before I get into the market. And I haven't really seen a market structure shift on Arbitrum yet, but we do have this little order block right here on the weekly time frame as well. Right? So if Arbitrum comes down and respect this weekly order block, that could be really good for Arbitrum, right? So but so far it's not really looking that sexy to me. And you know, for me, Gore, I'm mostly all technical, bro. Like I used to want to believe in crypto so bad, but now I'm just like, no, if I'm trading it, if, like, let's say if I trade right here, buy, and then they go up here, I'm selling, bro. I'm just going to take my profits, bro. Now there is some cryptos that I will hold on to for the long term, like Ethereum, Cardano, stuff like that, but when the chart is looking like this, it's a little bit scary for me, right? So, and then you said the last one is, it's a stock called NBIS. I'm gonna slap this on my watch list. $50. Weekly chart look like shit. Let's go to the monthly. Maybe the monthly look a little bit cleaner. Okay, the monthly look a little bit cleaner. But once again, this is not the best of the best of charts. You know what I'm saying? Look at this big market structure shift on a monthly. That's very scary for me. You know, we can do a swing high, swing low. We just came into premium zone up here, right? And then we can mark out this little gap right here. It's the gap in the market. It's called a fair value gap. So that's what I would be looking for this one. I wouldn't really want to be a buyer until either this little inversion fair value gap right here. I want to see this get respected. If I was to be a buyer on a stock like this, it would be, I would only want to buy like down here in these areas, right? So you can see right here we broke above this inversion fair value gap. And so I would like to see, like, if I was trying to buy this, I would like to see a pullback down here into this area. And then from there, I want to see the market hold that area and then push it back up. So that's what I would be looking for if I was looking at this company right here. Nice and simple. Just nice and simple technical analysis. Nothing too fancy. You know. Let's go back to NQ. Go back to NQ. NQ is still consolidating, so I don't really know how I feel about NQ. You know, Normally, I don't really like to trade the Nasdaq on days where it has that 2 p.m. news, because typically when it got 2 p.m. news, the morning session is going to be it's going to be choppy, and it doesn't, it doesn't give me any type of reinsurance when I'm looking at all of this chop already. Whole 24 hours of just consolidation, moving back and forth. So just going to have to wait and see what happens during the market open, and then find a trade from there. So if anybody else got anything, like any other cryptos or stocks or anything you guys want me to look at, forex pairs, drop it down in the chat. I'm just pretty much waiting for this market to open on the Nasdaq. If you guys missed it on the Nasdaq, I said the key things I'm going to be looking for today is on a daily time frame. There's a big long wick on a daily time frame, right? So I got this yellow line is the midpoint of this wick, so I'm going to be watching this wick right here, and then I'm also going to be watching the midpoint of this wick right here. Notice that we haven't broken below the yesterday's previous low, and we haven't broken above yesterday's previous high. So today could very well be an inside day. Inside days are tradable. It's not my favorite time to trade, but I'm just calling everything out because when you have 2 p.m. news and you have all of this consolidation, you don't have a break below or above yesterday's previous high or low. You got to take all of those things into consideration when you're placing a trade, right? If you do trade, you want to go in very light and knowing that everything is setting up to be a choppy market. I'm not trying to be like ICT, because y'all know it seems like every time ICT go live, he going live on the worst days to trade. And I used to watch ICT videos and be like, man, can you just trade when the market is moving, But at the same time, I gotta give him a salute, because watching all of those live videos I used to watch with ICT, he kind of taught me the markets that you want to stay away from, right? So that's what it's looking like right now. It's looking like it's setting up to be something that we might want to stay away from, but it's only one way to see. So we're going to drop back into the lower time frames. Once I pretty much do my analysis on the higher time frames, I pretty much like to watch the market in the lower time frames, right? So we got these equal highs up here. Make sure I got this little pink line. I pretty much use these pink lines for minor liquidity areas. So we got these equal highs. This is definitely going to be a target for sure today. Then we got some minor liquidity down here as well. We got this little swing low. This swing low right here. Then we got the midpoint of this wick. So this is definitely going to be targets as well. So just got to wait to see what's going to happen. Like I said, if y'all have any questions, man, anything y'all want me to look at, drop it in the chat, man. Make sure y'all drop a like on this video too. Subscribe to the channel if y'all haven't already. Y'all know I got my TraderFi, I got my Funder Pro, I got Apex. If y'all want to go check those out, if y'all are interested in, learning about prop firms, using other people's capital to trade. The links will be in the description below. Let me make sure I put that in there for y'all too. That is one of the best ways to support the channel. It's just, using my creator code, trucking, if y'all are going to go buy some prop firm accounts with Apex. I think Apex is one of the best companies when it comes to futures, mainly because you can get those accounts. You can like me, I bought 3 50K accounts for $19 a piece. Now, obviously, when I get them, when I pass the evaluation, it's going to cost some money to get them funded, but like that's really cheap to start off with some accounts for 50K. That's pretty good. So, and then most of y'all know I like Funder Pro because it's more like the traditional prop firms, right? It's more of like how FTMO is. And some of y'all, if y'all have been trading prop firms already for a long time, some of you guys know, like, at one point, man, prop firms was pretty good, and then a lot of companies started banning U.S. customers, and then before you know it, futures prop firms started to come around, and now they're only giving you like 1%, 2% drawdown. So that's one thing I don't like about futures prop firms, right? If you're new to the prop space, it probably don't bother you as much. But me, I've been here for a little while, and I don't like how they gave us less drawdown, and I also don't like how they gave us a cap on our payouts. Now with Apex, once you get to your 6th payout, you're uncapped. But even with me, I don't like that. I'm like, why do I have to make it to the 6th payout to be uncapped? That don't make any sense for me. So that's one thing. That's why I'm affiliated with Funder Pro, because they're more old school. Once you get funded with Funder Pro, there is no cap. If you make 10K your first day, you can literally withdraw it and it will be in your account the next morning. I think that's really cool, especially, when you need some money, and if you know how to trade, like that can be life-changing. The only thing I don't like about Funder Pro is the fact that you got to make 10% in phase 1, 8% in phase 2. That's pretty tough. Like, it's doable. I've already done it, but that's pretty tough. So that's one thing I will say Apex does better than Funder Pro, because if you think about Apex percentage wise, right? If you get a 50K account, you got to make $3,000 to get funded, right? Which is what? That's 6%, right? So you got to make 6% to get funded, and then I think you got to make about, let's say, around another 6% to get a payout, right? So that's about 12% altogether. Versus Funder Pro, you got to make 10%, 8%, so that's already 18%. Then you got to make at least another 1% before you can even get a payout, right? So altogether, you got to make about 19% before you get a payout. Versus Apex, you only really need to make 12%, then you're up and rolling, right? And also the accounts are way cheaper. So I like all the companies for different reasons, but I do feel like it's up to us. Like, if you're using prop firms, it's up to the community to hold these people accountable. If y'all don't go out here and complain, right? If y'all just start buying everything up and don't really set a standard, these prop firms are going to just run us over and just keep doing whatever they want to do, because so far that's the only thing we have seen them do is make it harder and harder and tighter to get a payout. All right, so that's why I don't use all prop firms. The only ones I use is Apex, Funder Pro, Tradeify. I still haven't got a payout with Tradeify, and I'm almost damn near about to give up on Tradeify. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. All right, I'm an affiliate, but I'm here to keep it real with my audience. The only thing that I don't like about with Tradeify is that 20% consistency rule, man. That shit fucks me up every time. I can't seem to get I can't get past it. Like, I've been up like $7,400 in my Tradeify, only needing like $1,500 more to get a payout. I've been up 6,000 multiple times in my Tradeify. Still didn't get a payout. You know what I'm saying? So it's just too many rules. So yeah, the time thing is crazy for sure. Yeah, time and stress, bro, because day trading is just so tough, bro. So price is getting ready to come into this inversion on a 15-minute that we had drawn out in this green box. I want to see what's going to happen once it get down here and touch this. We didn't already touch into here 1, 2, 3 times. Honestly, Gord, that's a smart way to do it, bro. Like that's a good way to do it, to be honest, man. The only reason I ever wanted to become a professional day trader is because, like, just the idea of being able to make so much in one day. I've always wanted to master that. So, I'm definitely and the other thing, I've always wanted to master it before I get old, right? Because once you get old, it's kind of hard to, still try to pursue day trading. You want to be just managing your portfolio. You want to be more of an investor when you get older. So that's why I went full head in. I just went deep in when it came to learning how to trade, and I was just thankful that I came across ICT, man, because I was messing with IML markets. I was messing with all of these different people, and I wasn't really getting no results. I had even signed up for Mamba signals, and shout out to Mamba. He got a pretty decent signal service, but it just wasn't good enough. So, I really didn't start getting the results that I wanted until I came across ICT. And the way I came across ICT is crazy. I was in Swaggy C's community. I was in Swaggy C community, and he said ICT was the best trader the best trader ever. And I was like, the best trader ever? I'm like, who the fuck? I'm like, who is ICT? I ain't never heard of him. How is he the best trader? I went over there. I went to go look at his channel. It looked so boring. I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna be for me. But eventually I ended up going back, and I'm like, you know what, just let me check this out, because I was just so fed up with all of the other information I was getting. I'm like, man, ain't shit else working. I'm damn near about to give up on trading. So I came across ICT. His strategies were like hitting right off the rip. So I was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna continue to study with this guy. He said, I got in on NBIS at $20 and I got out at $55. That's lit, bro. That's lit. Like, some people, like, when I used to try to get people into trading, I used to always try to tell people, like, you don't have to be a day trader to make money. All you need is a little bit of capital and be humble. Get in at a good area and get out. You know what I'm saying? Make some money. Pick stocks you believe in and trust your why. That's so true, bro. That is so true. If you pick a good stock and you get a good entry, it's going to be so hard for you not to make money. And that's how I feel about crypto. Like, the thing about crypto is that everybody gets so excited. And, that excitement leads to people getting faked out a lot when it comes to crypto. But with crypto, if you just use the higher time frames, the weekly, the monthly, and you just get in at a good area, you're more than likely you're going to make some money. So we got 23 minutes until market opens. I do have my Apex accounts pulled up over here, you guys. I am ready to go. Let's see. I hope they didn't log me out. All right. I got my Apex accounts pulled up over here. As you guys can see, currently up about 200 or 300 in most of my accounts. I do have 6 accounts, and I do trade them all together. So I have my Apex accounts pulled up. That's the only. These are the only accounts I have right now because they was so cheap, man. I'm gonna be honest. I was down there about to take a break with the prop firm stuff, bro. I was like, I might as well just trade in my real account, because it hurts when you have a good day trading, but it's on a demo. Like I just rather have a good day trading on a smaller account, $1,000 account or something. At least then it counts. If I make $50, I made $50. If I make 100, I made 100. So I do have my accounts up and ready to go, and just waiting for the market to open. Yeah, we just waiting for the market to open, man. I'm curious to know, is there anyone in chat that uses prop firms at all? Like, are you guys even trading? Are you guys new to trading? Do you guys just use your own live money? How do y'all feel about prop firms in general? I'm just curious to know what some of y'all think. Also, make sure y'all drop a like on this channel. If y'all haven't dropped a like on this video yet, man, be sure to drop a like. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. Just waiting for the market to open. Trying to get to know some of my subscribers. So if y'all have anything y'all want to talk about, any questions y'all want to ask me about my journey as a trader or anything like that, feel free. I'm an open book. I'm here to get to know you guys. And I want you guys to be able to get to know me as well. So 17 minutes until market open. It's moving very slow. I'm actually shocked that it's moving this slow. We got news coming out at we got an orange folder coming out at, I believe it was 10 a.m. Then we have some FOMC news coming out at 2 p.m. and 2:30. Then we got Trump speaking at 4 p.m. So we're going to see what the market gives out. And then tomorrow we also have a core PCE. We got some red folder news at 8:30. And then Friday we have pretty busy week. I'm currently up about $230 on my real account on a week. And on my Apex accounts, I'm down about $100 on my Apex accounts. Some of you already know that, I did set my daily loss limit on my Apex accounts. And I did set my daily loss limit on my live account as well. I put that one to like $250 so I can not lose too much money. Wait, what? You got hit by a California tariff? Materials. Like what did you what was you ordering? Oh man, for sure, bro. I definitely plan on doing more lives, man. It's just honestly, bro, it be my schedule, man. You know, it just be my schedule. I be really wanting to jump on here and just kick it with people. Oh wait, you in Canada? I thought you was from America, bro. Well, Canada, y'all about to be America in a minute, anyways. From what it's starting to seem like. So, specialized aluminum panels. Okay. Shout out to Gore, man. Gore be making money, man. I don't be knowing what Gore be into, but I know Gore he getting that bag. So we got 14 minutes until market open. Currently, we're just dancing around from the first presented fair value gap. I think this might be from either Monday or Friday. And then we're just dancing around in this inversion fair value gap on the 15-minute chart as well. We have these relative equal highs up here that I think is going to be a target. And also, like I said, on the hourly, if you go to the hourly time frame, right, this gap right here, I'm actually going to, let's just make this box right here. All right, so this gap right here on the hourly, if this gap is left open, then price is going to be looking to go down really fast today. And if we go down really fast today, where are we going to be looking to go? That's the next question. I'm going to show you guys that in 2 seconds. Lock that up. Obviously, we got this daily low right here. That's liquidity. We got liquidity on this swing low. This is a 4-hour order block right here. I think we could likely want to tap into this 4-hour order block right here. All right. On a 4-hour, these two red candles, that makes an order block. Yeah, I think we could likely want to tap into this. Honestly, if I had to just, gun to my head like ICT say, I think this is likely going to be the draw going down. But if this is the draw, what I would like to see first, if price is going to go down first, I want to see that those relative equal highs get swept first. In the perfect world, I would love to see that 1-hour gap stay open, but it don't have to stay open. And then I would like to see it work down into this, but because we already hit the top of it yesterday on the 4-hour, notice right here how we hit the top of this 4-hour order block. It don't have to come down and do it again. Would I love to see it do it again? Of course I would. I would love to see it get there again, but don't have to. If it hits the top of this and it don't want to go back down, And let's say this little yellow line, which is the midpoint of the wick on the daily time frame, let's say we come down here and we just, stutter step around for a little while, then this could be our target, right? This 1 hour fair value gap. We could, come down in the beginning, stutter step around, and then eventually go back up. Or we might just actually sweep. I would feel more confident taking buys if we could sweep this daily low. So that's the only reason why I even want to see it go much lower. I don't know if y'all can see that because I got a lot on my chart, but I'm going to zoom in. Right? This little, right here, daily low, right? We're going to lock that up. So if it can sweep that daily low, I will be much more satisfied with that, because then that can help me, figure out if I'm going to either take buys or take sells depending on what the market does. But overall, you guys know we're very bullish overall. And, we're hanging around this new week opening gap right now. So going to go back to the 15-minute chart. As soon as the market open, I'm dropping down into the 1 minute. Oh, what do you use those materials for, bro? Like, what are you building out there? Do you got like a company that builds certain stuff and you got to get the materials from Canada or what? Sorry that you got to go through the ringer like that with the tariffs, bro. Got 9 minutes left until market is opening. I'm still here, you guys. I'm just waiting for this market to open up. There's really nothing happening right now. Where do y'all think the market is going to go? Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down first when the market open? I'm curious to know what y'all think. All right, we got about 4 more minutes. I'm going to go ahead and drop into the 1 minute time frame. Start looking at the market on the 1 minute time frame. Just got a bunch of choppiness going on. Nothing really too exciting on the 1 minute. But I go to the 1 minute when the market opens, obviously, because that's how I find my first presented fair value gap. You can only find it on the 1 minute time frame. All right, let's see what's going to happen. Let's see where we're going first. Look like we're immediately shooting for this liquidity on the lower end. Still touching this inversion fair value gap on the 15 minute, which is this green box on my chart. Nice little, small little rejection from that 15 minute inversion fair value gap. Let's see if we want to power through, or is we going to go back up, sweep some liquidity on the upside. Let's see what's going to happen. Still nothing yet. We haven't even seen liquidity swept yet, any minor liquidity areas. So I'm just sitting on my hands for now, waiting for that first presented fair value gap to show up. You know, I typically don't do nothing until the first presented fair value gap show up. of liquidity that I had marked out with that pink line. Nothing too significant just yet. You know, if price was honestly, if price was to sweep right here, sweep this liquidity and go up and sweep this liquidity, that's going to be another sign of choppiness to me. So I just want to see what's going to happen. I would prefer to see us at least, come back down here and revisit this 4-hour order block before we get to making a move. So let's see what happens. Swept this liquidity, retesting the 15-minute inversion fair value gap. Still haven't got our first presented fair value gap just yet. So remember, I do nothing until I see that first presented fair value gap. So far, like I said, if we sweep this liquidity down here and then go up to run out this liquidity, that's going to be a sign of a very choppy market for me. So I'm going to, don't forget, you guys, we got news at 10 a.m. Then we also have red folder news at 2 p.m. and at 2:30 p.m. as well. So days like this isn't the best days to trade on NFP week. But we're not gonna look away from the market just yet. We want to at least see if there's going to be some opportunity. So far, still haven't seen a first presented fair value gap. So we waiting on that first presented fair value gap. Make sure y'all drop a like on this video as well if you're just tuning in. Would greatly appreciate that. Like I said, if that happened, it's probably going to be but it's looking like we might get our first presented fair value gap where we already had a first presented fair value gap. So let's see what happens up here. We swept this little bit of liquidity out right here. You guys can see this was an old first presented fair value gap that was on my chart. This is not from today, but as you guys can see, price is still respecting that old first presented fair value gap. So that's why I always tell you guys, back test the first presented fair value gaps. That's the only way you're going to learn if it actually works or not. It looks like this is going to be a small little first presented right here, but I want to see a more significant first presented fair value gap. So, but I'm going to put this on my chart because technically this is the first presented fair value gap. But I want to see something more significant though. I'm not going to really trust that one. It's too small. I'm not going to trust this one just yet, but I'm going to put it on there just because technically it is the first presented. The way ICT teaches this, he like to see a more significant gap for it to be the first presented. So far, very choppy day. I don't even think this day is going to be worth trading, but we're going to sit around and watch. Like, price literally hasn't done anything. I mean, you know, I don't know how anybody can trade this, but this is not the type of price action that I would trade. So today could easily be a no trade type of day. And it's sad because I truly want to make a trade, but I can't force a trade. Oh wow, I just noticed that Gore said the same thing, man. Gore, I didn't even know you was a trader, bro. I did not know you was a trader, man. But yeah, this is just horrible price action. I mean, there's nothing really more to say. Since the market opened, we have went where the range is only what 50 points since the market has opened. So it's important to know when to stay away for sure. That's a good skill to have. When I first started learning how to trade, I did not know when to stay away. I was trying to make money every trading day. And as you guys may know, I was getting smacked hard too. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm almost about to go back to sleep at this point because it's nothing happening, you guys. There's absolutely nothing to see. All right, are we going to go up here and sweep this liquidity or not, man? I mean, goodness gracious, this market is moving so slow. My gosh. So far, I mean, the only thing we have done is sweep this little bit of liquidity down here. Now it's looking like it may want to go up there and sweep this liquidity. I mean, this is not tradable so far, man. But make sure y'all drop a like on this video, man. If y'all liking the video so far, subscribe to the channel if y'all haven't already. All right, we had a little baby sweep of this little liquidity. Normally, I would say let's take a sell, but man, this market's so slow. I don't want to get in this market out of boredom, like Gore just said, man. You know, I'm not doing that. I'm not about to be pushing a button just to push the button. But we do have this little zone right here. This is the 1 hour fair value gap, and there is some liquidity resting above there as well. But we just swept this little bit of liquidity right here on the 15-minute. These were relative equal highs. And then now we're going to see what happened. Like I literally said it, man. I said if we go down here, sweep this liquidity right here, bounce up, sweep this liquidity, it's going to be a choppy market. And the reason why I say that is because look at this pink line right here. This is also liquidity. Why wouldn't it just go down and sweep all of this out and at least touch the midpoint of that wick on the daily time frame before it comes to bounce back up? You know, if the opening range is only what 70 points, how much money? I mean, how many points do you think you can make if the opening range is only 70 points, right? You would need like a really good entry and a really good exit just to make maybe 20 points. You know, so I don't do stuff like that. I know somebody's out there pushing a button. If y'all have taken the trade on the Nasdaq today, leave a comment in the section box, man. What the, bruh? All right. So we're still somewhat respecting this, you know, first presented fair value gap. I don't really like this first presented fair value gap. It's super small. They're all really small at this point, but at least we got the run on liquidity right here. We did get a little bit of a drop down. My screen just literally went blank, and then it woke up, and somehow we was over here. But let me see, from here to here, that's about 40 points. So maybe if you take this little turtle soup, you know, maybe you can get 20 points. That's not the way I trade. So on the 1 minute, I want to see this little inversion right here. I'm not going to mark it out, but there's an inversion that the price is respecting right here at the midpoint of this new week opening gap. I want to see what's going to happen right around this area. You know, we did sweep liquidity. We came down. We made a fair value gap, so that's something that we can pay attention to right there. And right now, it left that I may take a sell, but I'm not. I'm truly not in love with this sell right now. My Apex accounts. If they allow me to get in there fast enough. So I'm just gonna manage this trade on my real account. So far, we got a couple bucks in profit. You know, this is gonna be a scalp. I may just get out right here, target this little low right here. Let's see what's gonna happen. It's pulling back against me. Just that quick. We was in profits, now we're out of profits. So, you know, my stop loss is gonna be right here, right above here. If it gets back up there, I'll just cut my losses. And I wouldn't be surprised to see it happen either, because it's choppy market today. You know, maybe it's going to want to come back and retest this little gap right here. So I'm still watching this little inversion that I was telling you guys about right here. It's still respecting this little inversion. If we was to draw this out, it would look something like this. All right, that little bit of inversion right there is still holding up. I don't really like that. I want to see prices go ahead and get below that and start making some moves to the downside if we're going to go to the downside, right? So that's what I'm looking at right now. We was in some profits when we was down here, but since we have already swept these highs right here, but who knows? Maybe it's going to want to go all the way back up and fill this 1 hour fair value gap that's up there. So I might just be cutting my losses quick right here. I don't really like it. So let's see. Okay, I made $4.68 on that trade. I'm looking at my phone right now. I did make a small profits. Now as soon as I close, of course, this is when it's starting to come down. But it's just too choppy, man. There's no way I'm going to just be sitting in the choppy market all day. So that might just be my only trade, honestly, because this is so slow. I know it's not even 10 a.m. yet, but it's nothing have happened for the first 30 minutes. So I don't want to sit here and continue to watch this market, because I know myself, the more I watch, the more I'm going to want to push the button. So I might have to end up, closing this stream down soon, just so that I can, protect my accounts, because more than likely I'm going to force something if I continue to sit here and watch, So as much as I would love to sit here and hang out with y'all all day, look at that. Look at how it swept that little low right here, and now it's coming back up all aggressively like that. I don't like it. Maybe it's going to want to come back into this gap right here. But I was thinking that if we leave this gap open on a 1 minute time frame, maybe we could be too slow right now. I could be doing anything else. I could be taking a nap, right? I could be eating some food. So typically when it's a day like this, I would just like to fall back and relax and just do some other things, bro. If any of you guys trade as much as I do, y'all know trading is so stressful. So whenever it gives you some opportunities like this to step away from the market and be done, more times than not, you better take them. All right, more times than not, you better take them. I know you want to watch your favorite screamers, and everybody want to complete the challenges and do everything, but it's really no point of getting chopped up in this market like this. There's no point. So, I mean, it's respecting this first presented a little bit, but it's just moving way too slow for me. When I was in the trade, I would have wanted to see a quicker move, at least coming to this area right here. Is all of this back and forth. I'm just not in love with that. So that's probably going to be the end of the screen for me, you guys. I appreciate all of y'all for tuning in, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Drop a like on this video if you can. I appreciate all of the support, but I'm going to be tapping out, you guys. It don't seem like I'm going to find a trade. Maybe if I have the time, I'll come back again for the evening session at 2 p.m. The red folder news, that's at 2 p.m. and 2:30. It's probably more volatility around that time. But for now, I'm just going to wrap this stream up, and I'll see y'all in the next one, man. Peace out.